And I realized that the computer, this artificial intelligence, is not ready to provide any information about biocomputers. It's not ready because it doesn't have the information itself. It hasn't been loaded with it. In other words, everything that ChatGPT gives us is what has been uploaded by someone. Who uploaded it? But if it's uploaded by people who don't know the information, then what do you think? They don't know the information, so what are they going to tell you? Exactly the same. They themselves don't know anything. Just a bunch of empty words. Remember Gaidar and his economic reforms. Remember the stream of empty words. It was just garbage poured into your heads. People didn't understand anything. People tried to understand, oh, he's so smart, he's so sophisticated, but in reality it was just garbage in your heads. Gaidar was that garbage at the time, so you wouldn't understand anything while the country was being robbed. And the more garbage they pour into your ears, the more they rob you. So shall we talk about the biocomputer? This is an important topic, but is generally poorly explained and very few people understand it, even those who write about it, some researchers. When I dug deeper into this topic, I realized that no one really understands anything. Everyone just makes assumptions from their own perspective. And what a biocomputer actually is, no one will tell you because, well, simply no one knows yet. Of course, there are people who control the biocomputer. Some have been using it for a long time. But they can't write to you about it, they can't tell you about it. I asked ChatGPT what a biocomputer is to understand and to put together some kind of explanation for myself and for you. After all, it seems to us that artificial intelligence is smarter than we are. Artificial intelligence can give us something we don't know. We'll tell everyone on the internet, and everyone online will be happy to hear our story. I don't interact much with ChatGPT. I rarely use it. That is, I should say, almost without its help. But this time, since the topic is complicated, I decided to turn to ChatGPT. And I realized that the computer, this artificial intelligence, is not ready to provide any information about biocomputers. It's not ready because it doesn't have the information itself. It hasn't been uploaded into it. In other words, everything ChatGPT gives us is something that has been uploaded by someone. Who uploaded it? But if it was uploaded by people who don't know the information, what do you think? If they don't know the information, what are they going to tell you? Exactly the same. They themselves don't know anything. Just a bunch of empty words. Remember Gaidar and his economic reforms. Remember the stream of empty words. It was just garbage being put into your heads. People didn't understand anything. People tried to understand. Oh, he's so smart, so sophisticated, but in reality it was just garbage in your heads. I didn't listen to Gaidar. Twice was enough for me. The first time I heard him and the second time I thought, maybe I just don't understand something, I should listen. When I don't understand, I listen first. So Gaidar was just garbage back then so that you wouldn't understand anything while the country was being robbed. And the more garbage they pour into your ears, the more they rob and deceive you. So the biocomputer. ChatGPT tells me a biocomputer is a computational system based on biological components. Instead of traditional silicon microchips, it can use living cells, DNA molecules, proteins, or even brain tissue to store, process, and transmit information. DNA computers, which are innovative computational devices, utilize DNA molecules. Specifically, there are advanced DNA computers that effectively employ DNA molecules to meticulously encode and efficiently process data. There are protein computers that utilize proteins and enzymes. There are also cellular computers, which are based on modified cells that respond to signals like logic elements. Brain-like computers? Voila! There's even a term, brain-like, or computers literally made from a human brain, or from several people, or even dozens of people. Do you understand? Now you're getting to the heart of the problem. I'm giving you the direction right now. Do you understand what a biocomputer is? It's a terrifying thing. Terrifying? No, when we use it, maybe it won't seem so scary to us. But for those who are used to make these biocomputers, so many people go missing every year. I think you understand me very well. So brain-like computers, also known as biocomputers, are built from neural cultures, sometimes carefully obtained from human stem cells. Well, my dear friends, it is crucial to understand that human cells are absolutely not synthetic. This is, in fact, pure and authentic human DNA. These are pure human brain cells. These are those very primitive biocomputers that they are trying to introduce to us, telling us how good they are and what they represent. I firmly believe that this advanced biocomputer, which they are currently offering to us now, is absolutely not suitable for our intended use at this present time. You understand that? They tell us that this biocomputer is small in size and biomolecules are much smaller than transistors. Yes, that's all true. For example, parallelism. Billions of molecules can work simultaneously. That's also true. Its use in medicine, especially in diagnostics and targeted therapy. Wonderful. But why? Energy efficiency. Biological reactions require minimal energy. Management complexity. Biosystems are unstable and unpredictable, so managing them is difficult. They loaded someone else's brain into this biocomputer and expect there to be no malfunctions. Of course, there will be malfunctions. Any brain, even outside the human body, thinks it ponders what actions to take to identify itself as a living being. Not a human, but a thinking entity, a being. This is a biocomputer. We won't discuss poetic questions with you. It's a pointless topic when it comes to the science of barbarians. We are barbarians. We have built a golem state. And in this golem state, we now want to build biocomputers. A huge, large biocomputer has already been built from human brain cells to interact with the noosphere. The noosphere is that Milky Way they don't tell you about. It is literally the Milky Way. They don't tell you well so that you don't know. But why should the person know that he himself, without any biocomputer, can make his own brain into that very biocomputer? All it takes is to allow it to open up. The brain cells, they are blocked. At some point, people were blocked. We are not truly developing, we are actually degrading because continuous brain activity is absolutely essential. If you do not actively engage your brain in meaningful mental activity, then you will inevitably begin to degrade. Talking about how a person will use a biocomputer. But for what purpose and how expensive is it if it is made from human DNA and you need to take DNA from a living person, not from a dead one? What can a dead person give you? And the brain also needs to be taken from a living person, not from a dead one. Do you understand what a biocomputer is? What are they not telling us? They praise it to us. They tell us some complicated things that aren't entirely clear. And it turns out that people will be deceived again. Using a biocomputer means using someone else's living brain, into which a substance has been introduced that unlocks the consciousness of the previous person, who has left their body and now exists only as brain cells. And the body itself is gone. In other words, the person has disappeared, eliminated, no longer needed. The body is not needed. Only the brain is needed. And how many people have passed away for the sake of science? So are they in a parallel reality? They exist as brain activity for someone else's interests. A biocomputer, as we are told today, is a system in which living or biomolecular structures perform logical and computational functions similar to those used by conventional computers. Types may include DNA computers, which use DNA molecules to encode and process data. Second, protein computers, in their fundamental operation, effectively utilize various types of proteins and enzymes. Third, Cellular computers are sophisticated systems based on modified biological cells that are specifically engineered to respond to various signals as if they were complex logic elements. Fourth, brain-like biocomputers, or brain on a chip, are built from neuronal cultures, sometimes derived from human stem cells. This is the Cortical Labs project. So today we're talking specifically about those so-called brain-like biocomputers. In other words, a computer created from a brain, a human brain. That's something to think about, isn't it? The human brain, and computers are made from it. Right now there are studies where brain computers are actually living neurons. For example, in 2023, the Australian startup Cortical Labs trained a neural culture to play Pong. Why? Is this a neural culture? But it's a brain culture. So essentially it's a living human brain. Teaching it to play ping pong, well, that's just mocking it. But we're told that these are all some kind of major steps, yes, secret significant advances in the field of creating a new culture of computers. The research is aimed at creating neuromorphic computing capable of learning brains. Well, it's like taking a child and starting to teach them. Only it's a child without a body, just a brain. But how should we perceive this? What do you think? Does it make sense to you? What is this? Synthetic biology and logic in cells. This is when biologists embed logic circuits directly into the DNA of bacteria. Cells can compute based on the conditions of yesterday's external environment. For example, diagnosing a tumor and releasing medication when the conditions match. But it would be even better if we could create conditions where these tumors don't arise in the first place. On the contrary, conditions are being created for humanity where these tumors appear, and more often. Yes, a computer can use living cells, DNA molecules, proteins, and brain tissue to store, process, and transmit information. In the near future, as scientists say, biocomputers will not replace conventional computers. They can complement their tasks and will play a role in nanomedicine, neurointerfaces, processing of large biodata, and biosensors. This is my fourth story about biocomputers. I am Tanya Karasuba Soyet Burkan. Due to the fact that military events are getting closer and closer and our situation, we do not know at what stage we are in communicating with each other. Because the situation is deteriorating, I have launched my website on the NewsRocks platform, which I am showing you now. Please visit, follow the link. I will provide it in the description under my videos so you can go there and find me. Because it's unclear how much longer YouTube will continue to be available in Russia. As soon as any serious events begin, I believe that Russia could be cut off from the main platforms for some time. YouTube is the main platform. It's a shame, of course, friends, it's really unfortunate. But it turns out that we need to choose other platforms where we can communicate with each other. I'm showing you my page right now, where I've set myself up. By the way, each of you can also create your own page.